Welcome back to Insight. We're at FairHaven Funeral Home here on North Clinton, just across from Concordia Lutheran Seminary, and we're with Jarod. And you have an interesting story here. The four of you gentlemen who came and have created a locally owned funeral home.
Yes, that is correct, yeah.
Why is it important, explain this to people, to have a funeral home that's locally owned?
Yeah, Dirk, well, the four of us, we have 70 years of combined experience here in Fort Wayne, and so we all four worked for a locally owned funeral home for that time, and 2 years ago, that funeral home was bought out by a larger corporation out of Texas, and so that spurred us on to want to start a new funeral home, and one that is locally owned. And so really what makes a locally owned funeral home different is really two things. It is we are going to be recognizable and we're going to be responsible. And first, with being recognizable, you know, in a time that a family experiences a loss, there is just so much emotion and hardship, and we just want to be there for people, and we want to be a place where people can recognize us, where they know us. And we've been in the community here for many years, and obviously our families are here, our wives are nurses, small business owners, teachers here as well. And so you know, when you entrust a funeral home, you want to know them. Secondly, you know, we're responsible. We're available to families 24 hours a day. We're available to families on Sunday, overnight. And so, you know, we take care of many of the details that in a time of need, like a loss of a loved one, we can just take care of details from the beginning to the end without worrying. And you know, we want to be responsible, you know, to those families. And
even for someone who, you know, may not have pre-planned a funeral, may not have ever have had to deal with a funeral director, my pastor or whoever, you know, I'm going to have involved in these, you know, in a funeral ceremony, they know you.
Exactly.
So, that local knowledge is important.
That's right. So if you've had a funeral in the last 15 to 20 years here in Fort Wayne, most likely you've worked with one of us. And so we know the pastors, we know those local leaders, hospice workers, and we have a great relationship. We know, you know, what they want. We know, we just have a great working relationship.
There's also, it feels like with being locally owned, you've taken away a layer of corporate cost, maybe, and so things may be more affordable here.
Yes, Dirk, and that's one of the reasons why, another big reason why we wanted to move here to FairHaven. Not only do we have the beautiful facilities here, very modern, but we also can provide these services for a lot less cost than our corporate competitors. And so we're all, like I said, you know, we're local. We don't have those out-of-town expenses, so to speak, and shareholders to keep happy. And because of that, we can pass along savings to families.
What do you find rewarding about this job?
Oh, the list is long on that. You know, just helping people through a difficult time. You know, the four of us here have the same mission, the same outlook of just wanting to help people through a difficult time. We just really value when a family comes to us and they want to they need help and they need direction. And so, as I mentioned earlier, taking them from the beginning of this journey to the end of the journey is just, it really can be a beautiful experience. And even after the funeral, we're here for people. And we have great resources for grief support and help beyond the funeral.
If you'd like to find out more about the difference a locally owned funeral home makes, you can go to their webpage, which is fairhavenfortwayne.com. We'll be right back on Insight.